What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph!
You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic and Mrs. Heretic, and we're here to do the video that you've all been asking us to do. We're here to do our review of the Nightwish concert that we had on May 20th at the Wiltern. So, we're here to talk about everything. We're here to talk about our overall experience, what we heard, what we saw, what we smelled, the whole shebang.
That's the truth.
So, we're gonna give it to you. We're gonna give it to you straight. I mean, there are some things that, listen, we had a great time. There were a couple things that we weren't wholly 100% thrilled about, but we'll get to those, I promise. But we're going to discuss everything. Now, I'm going to do something weird because a lot of people have been asking me to do this in the review. We're going to start off with how the evening started. We're going to start off with dinner. Believe it or not, people in the comments wanted to know what we thought about M Grill. Well, we've been going to M Grill for 13 years?
Oh, more than that.
It's been a while. We've been going there. We discovered them a long time ago. It's one of our favorite restaurants to go to. It's the restaurant that we go to every year for our anniversary. And whenever we have, family come out, like her dad, when he ever kind of comes out, it's one of his favorite places to go. And he has come out and said, hey, can we go to M Grill? And we're like, oh, twist our arm. It's fine. So we take him,
Yeah.
He always insists on paying, which is, fine.
It's like a 5-star restaurant, though.
It's
the place
amazing.
is amazing. It's like nothing I'll be able to find anywhere else in regards to the whole shebang. You can find Brazilian steakhouses that give you the all-you-can-eat experience.
Oh yeah, we've been to a number of them,
and they are all duds compared to this place. Like
not even close.
It's not just the food; it's the ambiance. It's
the lighting.
It's the area in regards to like how they have everything set up. It's the service. The service I consider 5-star service. Like
yes.
I would not be able to go there. I've never been there and had a bad experience.
No.
And we go there several times a year.
We've been there at least 30 times.
Oh, at least.
More than I'm willing to bet way more than
way
that.
More
but
than that.
Bare minimum, we've been there 30 times. Never a negative experience. Their staff does not know the words no, don't, and can't. Those words are not in their vocabulary. They are so accommodating. They go out of their way. They bend over backwards to make sure that you have the best experience possible. So we always love to speak very highly of M Grill. To anybody who has never been there, you should definitely check them out. Check it out for yourself. See the quality of the food. See the quality of the service for yourself. And enjoy the experience. And I guarantee you, if you do, you're going to look back on this and go, man, they were right. They were absolutely right.
It's not cheap, I'll just tell you that.
No, it's not.
Look, you get what you pay for.
You're gonna get your money's worth, I guarantee it. It is a little higher up on the price point, but it's worth every penny. It absolutely is.
And make reservations. That place is always packed.
Yes. Open Table. That's where they do their reservation through, is opentable.com. Find them. Y'all gotta do a search M Grill, and it'll be like one of the first. I think it's the first one that pops up. Definitely make reservations because they do fill up every single night.
The other beautiful thing about going to M Grill, especially if you're going to the Wiltern for a show, is they do Wiltern parking. You pay for it. It was $20 for parking, but all you do is you walk out of M Grill, you
walk
go
about 5 stores down.
And you cross the street and there's the Wiltern.
You're right at the front door of the Wiltern. It's a great, convenient place to eat. Wonderful place to eat. We both very highly recommend it. I give M Grill, let's see, I would give M Grill a 9.6. I'll give them a 9.6. What would you give them?
10.
You're gonna give them a 10? Perfection,
Perfection,
really.
Perfection. I have never had anything bad there. Like I said, we've been there over 30 times. The manager knows us when we walk in.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna change my score to 9.8. I think I said 9. I said 9.6, and my head went, "Are you insane?"
He is.
9.8. I give it a 9.8. It's
amazing.
Phenomenal. It's absolutely phenomenal.
And it's the steak. Oh my God, the food is just His favorite's their lamb.
Oh, the lamb is phenomenal.
He goes, when they do the rack of lamb.
Rack of lamb and the leg of lamb. Both. They're, ooh, God.
You can see the little, like, patoodles of drool.
That's not true.
As they say, Sir, you want your lamb? We know you like the lamb.
They know me.
They know him.
They know us. They know both of us.
Well, the manager comes up and goes, I have the wines already set aside.
Yeah, that's when you know.
Here's your choice of wines for tonight based upon your
Well,
preferences.
I know your preferences are and your palate and what you're... And yeah, we've been there way too many times. The manager does know us very well. No, we love that place. And we both very highly recommend you check it out for sure. So, that was dinner. Now... we did the experience. I actually, first thing I want to do is, before we go any further, I want to give a big shout out to the individual. I will not say his name because he did request to be left anonymous, but I know he's probably watching this video. So to the individual who got us the tickets and gifted those to us and sent them to us to our P.O. Box, thank you once again. Because I'll be honest with you, I don't know if we could have gotten tickets because from what I understand, it was already sold out from
2 years ago.
2 years ago. So getting tickets was pretty much impossible. So to the person who did give us the tickets, it was very generous of you, and we both very much appreciate your generosity and you taking the time to do that for us.
Thank you so much. It was an experience of a lifetime for me, and I am beyond grateful.
It was your first metal concert. First time going to an actual metal show. I don't consider Rush metal. We went and saw Rush at the Hollywood Bowl, but we were sitting down, and you know how the Hollywood Bowl is. Everybody's sitting down, and when they're done playing, you very well done, bravo, very well done. Yeah, that's the Hollywood Bowl. This was the different thing. This was a different experience. So let me ask you, being your first metal concert, what expectations did you have going in?
I didn't go in with expectations.
None at all.
Because here's my philosophy on life, and you guys have to understand this because I need to be grateful for everything that does come my way. If you walk in with expectation, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. So I walked in without actual expectation so I could embrace everything that came my way.
Okay, that's fair, and that's a great way. I wish I could think that way. I did go in with expectation. Not having experienced as much Nightwish as I have and seeing them play live on video, there was a certain level of expectation I had. I expected to see a lot of the same. Obviously, I knew going in I wasn't going to see, the video projections. I knew going in we weren't going to see the pyro because it's Los Angeles County. There's no pyro allowed inside. So I knew all that going in, but I still had an expectation from a performance level from the musicians. I had a certain level of expectation of showmanship and stage energy and stage interaction and crowd interaction. I had a certain level of expectation on that level. And we're going to talk about all of that in just a little bit. So you went into this with absolutely no expectations from Nightwish at all.
None.
But what about from just an overall, your first time going to a metal concert, did you have any expectations?
No.
No. Okay. Fair enough.
I don't do that in my life. I cannot go in expecting something. Like I said, it was something my father taught me, and my father's a very, very wise man. You don't go in with expectations because if you try to expect something and it doesn't meet it, you're already just setting yourself up for disappointment.
Yep.
So
very true.
I wanted to go in with 100% open mind because this was my first time seeing a metal concert ever.
Yep.
I'm a little sheltered. I don't have that experience like everybody else does.
We're gonna have to get you out of that. We're gonna have to get you some more tickets to more metal shows. Okay, so I decided to do something unusual. We had the tickets, but they were offering a special, VIP underground club thing for an additional charge. I said, yeah, why not? It's better than waiting in line, I guess. So I paid for it, and we went down. And while we were down there, we got to run to a couple of fans, which was fun. Got to take some pictures with them. It was Gabriel and his wife Jenny, who we ran into. Got a chance to talk to them. Big fans of the channel, so we appreciate you guys both for taking the time and coming and talking with us. It was a lot of fun, and we got some pictures with them, which was really cool. After that, we went up onto the floor, and we entered the venue, and we found a spot to stand, and it was really nice. I thought it was a nice spot to stand. We were like right in the middle.
Yeah,
Center stage.
It was nice because we weren't coming in with the rest of the crowd. As much as Dave understands, I worked a full day before we headed over to get dinner and to the Wiltern. So me having a long day at work, waiting in line would have just been, for me, exhausting,
Yeah.
especially because I was up at 4 o'clock in the morning and got to work extra early so I could finish my day so I could leave early and get to the Wiltern on time.
Yep. So we went into the theater, found a space to stand right up at the front of the third tier so we could have a nice view. I look at the stage and I didn't even think about Nightwish having an opening act. I didn't even think about it. I was thinking Nightwish was just going to play, you know, like a 2-hour-long show and that was going to be the end of it. Well, no, lo and behold, surprise, surprise, there's an opening band. And it's a band I've done a reaction to that you've seen. I actually, about 2 weeks before, 3 weeks before the concert, I did another reaction to. It's coming out in June. You'll see it next month for a band called Beast in Black. And I was like, oh, I remember these guys from the reaction channel. Okay, well, okay. I think I remember seeing the course of the reaction. I wonder what these guys sound like live. So it was great because I was like, okay, cool. Well, now I'm going to have my question answered. So we stood and we waited and we waited and we waited and we waited and we waited. they let us in an hour early. So we stood around and waited for an hour. The place packed up pretty quick. I was really impressed by the fact that everybody was getting in so quick. Now, was that because people wanted to see Beast in Black, or was that because people wanted to get in as fast as they could to get a spot to see Nightwish? I don't know which one it is. That's open to debate. I'm not 100% sure. But anyway, the lights went off and the show started. And Beast in Black came out. And wow, all my little criticisms of Beast in Black, right out the window. These guys live 10 times better than they were in studio. I'm sorry, I know there's going to be people who like the studio versions better. Hey, that's wonderful. I'm glad you do.
I respectfully disagree.
Me personally, and they even did the 2 songs I did reactions to during their set. It was completely different. It sounded completely different. It was a whole different energy coming out of the speakers. But not only that, not only did they play the songs with a great amount of energy and it sounded amazing, the live show that they put on, oh my God. Great stage energy, great stage interaction, great crowd interaction.
I have to interrupt you.
They brought the show.
I have to interrupt you. Because I don't know who these guys are. I had no clue. I'm like, I see this backdrop with this redheaded girl and it says Beast in Black, and I'm like, what the hell is this? And and I'm listening, and you see these 3 guys come out, a bass player.
Well, the drummer came out first.
The drummer came out first, but you really see the bass player and the 2 guitarists come out, and I'm like, these guys look straight up out of the 80s.
They did.
Straight up out of the 80s. And one of the guitar players had this guitar with a devil on it. Okay?
That was the bass player.
That was the bass player. And it was only a 4-string. And then the guitar player, the one that
with the green guitar,
he had a neon green guitar.
That was
and
cool.
They were wearing. One was wearing a jean jacket, one was wearing a leather jacket. Like they literally looked straight up, circa 1986. Okay, like straight up out of the 80s, long hair, you know. And I'm just sitting here going, okay, what the hell did we just get her? Did I just take a time ship back? You know, I'm like, oh my God, Bill and Ted's Excellent Journey. There we go.
Excellent Adventure.
Or Excellent Adventure.
You're thinking Bogus Journey or Excellent Adventure?
Excellent Adventure. Okay, so I'm like, oh my God, what is this? And then the music starts, and it is high energy.
Oh my God.
Now, I will say, due to the sound quality, I couldn't understand lyrics. So
yeah.
I'm going to apologize. It was tough to understand lyrics, but the energy was so infectious from this band. Oh my Lord.
You were jumping.
Oh, I was jumping. I was screaming. And then the lead singer comes out, and I get...
He jumps.
And he jumps, and he yells, and his crowd interaction is phenomenal. And I take one look at him, and I'm like, he's straight up Rob Halford.
Yeah.
I'm like, literally, this guy is giving me total Rob Halford vibe. He had a leather coat. He was wearing leather pants, and the coat was kind of open in the front. And it had tails in the back that went all the way down to the ground. Like, that costume must have been hot as hell. And
he wore it the entire show.
Oh, yes.
Woo,
yes.
Dedication, my man.
It was almost a 40-minute set. And I'm sitting there going, this is straight up Judas Priest. This is Judas Priest.
Old Judas Priest.
Old Judas Priest.
Screaming for Vengeance tour. That's what it reminded me of. I mean, I'm looking at these guys with the choreography, the movements, the blocking that they were doing all in unison, their sound, their energy, their look. I was absolutely getting Screaming for Vengeance tour vibes.
Straight up Judas Priest on crack.
Well, definitely higher energy.
Yeah.
The energy and the intensity was 10 times higher. I was beyond impressed with these guys live, and they didn't stop. They did not let up once. They got through, I think it was 7 or 8 songs in 40 minutes, and they still took time in between to talk to the crowd and interact with the crowd, and that was a fantastic show. The only thing I'm going to say about Beast in Black is this. They need to find a way to capture that live sound, that live energy, that live intensity. If they can capture that and put it into their studio albums, they are going to be huge. They are going to absolutely blow the roof off of their little glass ceiling that they have right now, and they are going to be humongous. And who knows, maybe one day, if they figure it out, you might see Nightwish opening up for them. I'm not kidding. These guys are that good live, and I would absolutely stand behind that statement 100%. If they can do what, like it was like Kiss, you know, the first 3 studio albums from Kiss, they didn't sell at all. I don't even think they even sold 100,000 copies. If any of those albums, they did not sell well. It wasn't until they put out Alive that they figured out the formula. Okay, this is how we need to do our studio albums. And then they did Destroyer, they did Rock and Roll Over, and they did Love Gun, and they did it in a live setting, capturing that live energy and that live intensity. And oddly enough, Destroyer, I think, is still the biggest selling album they ever put out. So go figure. If these guys can do the same thing, if they could capture that energy, encapsulate it, and capture it on a studio recording, they're going to go beyond next level. They're going to go 5 levels above where they are right now. It's going to be fun to see that happen.
I want to go see him again. I was already asking Dave, hey, when can we get tickets again? They were joking around. We'll be back here tomorrow night. Guess who was already there?
Man, and they were just as good the second night. Just as good. It was actually the lead singer's birthday on Saturday night. And they stopped in the middle of the show, and they pulled out one of their crew members brought a cake, and the whole crowd sang happy birthday to him. And I think he got a little choked up. I think he did. And that was cool to see, man. It was a very real moment. but both shows equally good. They brought the energy. There was no mailing it in on the second night. They were just as good as they were the first night. I would love to go see them again. Hopefully they come back out this way to the U.S. soon. Sooner the better, because I'll get tickets just to see them. I don't care who they're opening for. Hopefully they're not opening, though. Hopefully they'll be the opening act. They'll be the headliners. But even if they're the opening act, I'll get tickets because they were that good. I would absolutely go see them again. Yeah, I mean, just the way they start. I don't know the names of their songs. I recognize the two songs that I did reactions to, but in particular, the first song. Boy, I don't know what that first song was, but oh man, what a show opener. My goodness, the way they kicked off the show with that high energy song, it was amazing. Fantastic job. Okay, so they finished up. Lights went out. The crowd kind of simmered down. A bunch of them went to go to the bar and stuff like that. We saw the crew coming out and setting up. It was all wonderful and good. And then the lights went out.
It's okay. I was screaming with Beast in Black. My throat was parched. I was like, I needed something to drink. So I literally shoved my little body all the way through the crowd back to him. Even had a couple people screaming at me. It's okay. I didn't give a crap.
Nope.
I'm like, I need to get back to my husband with my cup of water and got there just in time before the entire band got on stage and started singing.
Yep. So the first song they did was Noise. Now, you have not seen that music video yet. I did a reaction to that music video, and I remember making a couple of comments about it. I liked it. It was a great song. Don't get me wrong, but I did feel it was kind of processed, and I did feel like it was a little maybe over the top as far as trying to maybe be a little too complex. I remember making those comments, and I still stand by those comments. I do. I'm not taking that back. But I will say, hearing it in a live setting, a lot of the processing disappeared. A lot. So it was nice. Now, they were still doing track, obviously, and you heard all the sound effects and stuff. It was still there, but it didn't sound as processed. Now, this is, again, very much like Beast in Black. Nightwish is a band that is best heard live. They really are. I'm not discrediting their studio work at all, their studio work. Listen, you need to put out albums. You need to do studio work so that when you go out and play live, you have something to reference to. I get it, especially in a situation like this where, like she said, hearing the lyrics, like hearing the spoken words, like hearing the actual words themselves and the lyrics, you couldn't really make it out due to the fact that there was this sheer wave of sound coming at you. And unfortunately, the lyrics did kind of get lost. But you could still hear the singing. You could hear the melodic lines that Floyd was singing and that Troy was singing. You could hear everything there. You just couldn't always make out what they were saying. So the vocal work was fine. I'm sure they were saying the right words. I'm sure they were. More importantly, though, they were all hitting the right notes. But with Noise, like I said, you haven't heard that song before.
No,
What was your impression of it?
I kind of had a florgasm and was mesmerized for the first like 4 or 5 songs.
Yeah,
I was like
slack-jawed. Even with her mask on. I'm looking at her mask like this, and I could still see her jaw under the mask. Like, oh my God. So you were a little flabbergasted. You were. But you did eventually, I think it was on, when we got to 7 Days to the Wolves, I think is when you finally warmed up.
Because I really knew the tune for that one, and I really liked that song when I did the reaction. So I was like, wait, I recognize this. But it's kind of like, I'll have to say, for me, it's one of those things where I was looking at everything and going,
yes.
And like my eyes were huge. I was like, where the fudge am I? Like, and then the best was they purposely put right in front of Floor this fan that makes her hair blow in the wind. I'm like, oh.
They do that every show.
But seeing it live is completely different. Like,
yeah.
Because you see the person down there adjusting it to when she's moving.
He did come out a couple times. Okay, so Noise I recognize. Now the next 6 songs I have not done reactions to, and I don't know them. I got to hear them. Now if you were to ask me, do I remember them? No, I don't remember the songs. I don't remember the notation or the chordal structure or anything like that. I know I enjoyed them. Listen, there was not a single song on the set list that I did not enjoy. I loved every single song I heard. But if you were to ask me to hum a few bars of any of them, I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. Everything just flew by. And you would think after seeing them 2 nights in a row, I'd be able to retain something. No, I was just as blown away the second night as I was the first. So I'm looking at the set list right here. So the set list went like this. Noise, I've heard before. Planet Hell, Tribal.
Elon.
Is that how you pronounce that? Elon? Or Elon? Okay, so Elon, Storytime, She Is My Sin, and Harvest. I don't know any of those songs. I've never heard any of them before, and to be honest with you folks, I don't remember them. I will say, none of them left a negative impression on me, so they must be good. So hopefully somebody goes onto the Patreon page and makes some requests for those songs, because
it'll be fun to react to them.
Yeah, and you could probably react to them too, because you don't remember them either. Okay, so now we're moving on. Now here's where things started to get interesting. The next 3 songs you did reactions to not too long ago.
Yeah.
7 Days to the Wolves.
Oh my God.
7 days to the wolves. Where will we be? 7 days to the water. And the place in love. Time's rolling me. Come to take us.
Dark Chest of Wonders and
Yeah.
I Want My Tears Back, which was your favorite.
Yeah, but yeah.
So we had those 3 come up next. So
And I sung along. Oh my God.
did you really?
Especially to 7 Days to the Wolf.
7 Days to the Wolves has got a very catchy chorus, man. It does. It's one of those choruses that stick with you.
They do.
Always. It's one of those songs that you could be walking along and all of a sudden you hear something that
And it
triggers
pops in.
and it just pops in your head. Now I agree. 7 Days to the Wolves, the chorus on that song is fantastic. Dark Chest of Wonders, my favorite Nightwish song of all time. That song. I know people are going to be like, what about Poe and the Pendulum? What about Greatest Show on Earth? You gave Greatest Show on Earth 9.9. You're absolutely right, I did. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's my favorite song. I'm giving the 9.9 based on what I heard and the talent and the work that went into it, the execution of it, the overall packaging of it. That's why I gave it the 9.9. Not necessarily my favorite song. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy it, and we're going to get to that at the end. But Dark Chest of Wonder, hard and with a hardcore stuck at the top. I don't know if anything's ever gonna knock it off the top for me. I love that song.
Your fans have asked if I would do Poet and Pendulum.
We'll see about that one. That one's you may be ready. I think you need to do a few more before we get to that one. That one's intense.
Okay.
And there is a humongous backstory to it that you don't know about yet.
Gotcha.
So I have to educate you on that. So 7 Days of the Wolves, you loved that one. I thoroughly enjoyed it too. Dark Chest of Wonder, like I said, my personal favorite Nightwish song. I loved it. I thought they did a great job playing it live. What did you think of it?
Trying to remember back, and like I said, it was 3 songs I knew back to back, which was good. But like I said, still mesmerized by Floor. That woman can move. Those corsets hold everything in because I don't know.
Dark Chest of Wonders was the song where she disappeared and then came back and she had her jacket off.
Yeah, boy. Nani?
Yeah, okay.
She got nice shoulders.
She does have nice shoulders, doesn't she?
And her artwork is phenomenal.
You like her tats?
Oh, I am a chicken, will not get a tattoo to save my life because I cannot deal with needles, but you can admire somebody's beautiful artwork that she has done.
Yeah. True that.
But yeah, she has this infectious energy and that smile when she starts singing and just, orgasmed again.
Yep. I Want My Tears Back. You may not realize this, but when the minute that you heard them come in with the I want my tears back, you started jumping again.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, here we go again.
Yes.
My wife!
I was singing along with that one.
Yeah, but what you forgot was you were holding that cup of water, so I had to grab the cup of water out of your hands before you lost it or you spilled it on people in front of us down there. I was like, no, give me that. No, proceed, jump away. Oh, she had a great time with that song. You really, I could tell you enjoyed that one. Because the minute, I'm not kidding, the minute it kicked in with the vocals, boom, she was off and gone to the races. Yeah, again, just like every other song.
Videotape me during half
I did.
of it.
I'm gonna see if that's a cue right here. I'm gonna see if I can put up some of that footage of her jumping up and down.
I'm so embarrassed.
No, you had a great time. That's the whole, see, this is what a lot of people don't understand about metal shows. You're supposed to go there and have a good time. Doesn't matter what you do to have that good time. Some people, like myself, we'll just stand there the whole time and we'll take everything in and watch. When I say I take everything in, I'm sure those of you that were at the show, you saw me doing this. I wasn't just watching the stage. I was looking around at the crowd. I was turning around and looking behind me at the crowd of what they were doing and how they were reacting to what they were experiencing. I was trying to look up at the balcony. Couldn't always do it. I was looking up at the lighting rigs. I look at everything. I don't jump around. I don't raise my hands. I don't clap. I don't do any of that stuff. I take everything in that I possibly can so I can retain and remember as much as possible the whole experience, not just what's happening on stage, but everything, including the crowd.
He makes a great cup holder too.
I do make a great cup holder. And you were jumping up and down and having a good time.
I was.
That's the point. You go to these shows to have fun, and you had fun.
I really did.
I did too. And I know people will like, well, you just stood there and you just stood there. That's how I have fun, is I take everything in. So if I'm jumping up and down, I can't take everything in. So after that, okay, we got some more songs here that you have not heard, and I haven't heard either. The next few songs were Everdream.
They made a big deal out of Nemo when they announced
Nemo, yeah. Apparently, a famous composer that is very much an influence on Nightwish, he passed away recently, and he had a studio called Nemo, and that's how they introduced the song, as they mentioned the name of the studio. It was called Nemo. I don't remember the song. Same thing with Everdream and same thing with How's the Heart. I kind of remember because they did a very special rendition where it was acoustic.
Dear one, night will come, but not to stay. Oh, why? The answer is in the house, the heart. Underneath the silence, house, the heart. Drowning in the mire, let us sound. You're pain. Come in the fire's fall, burn the rope and let some more.
It was Floor and it was Troy.
I love that
it was nice. It was pretty.
Nice because the stage had two levels. Like there was.
Yeah, they were up on risers.
So the riser, she went and took a stool and sat next to Troy
on the risers
and sung with him, and their interaction was very
intimate. Sweet and intimate.
Sweet.
It was, and they set it up beautifully. The stage was completely dark,
and
except for two orange spotlights coming down, and both at an angle on them that crisscrossed. And then on stage left, right next to the orange light that was angling down this way, there was also a singular white light to kind of brighten it up. Beautiful light design, by the way,
but
through the whole show.
It was only the two of them the entire time.
It was just the two of them, not the entire time. The last minute and a half, Kai came out and Tomas came out and the bass player Yuka came out. The only one that didn't come out was Empu. He didn't come out, but the rest of them came out and started to accompany them for like the last minute and a half. Very like on a piano, I wouldn't say pianissimo, but on a very like maybe that the loudest they were was mezzo piano at loudest. But they were very much like a backing band at that point. They weren't trying to stomp on what they were doing. What Troy and Floor were doing, they were just very much being an accompaniment, and it was gorgeous. It was absolutely gorgeous.
And speaking of Empu, it was the only time I've ever seen him in all the reactions that I've done. He had his hair tied back.
Yeah, he had a ponytail rocking, man. He looked slick. It looked good. He looks good with a ponytail. I'm not gonna lie though, I do miss him with the long hair flowing, and moving around and stuff. But he did. I'm not gonna lie, man. He looked good. He looked absolutely
slick.
Proper. Okay, after How's the Heart, we went to Shoemaker. Now, Shoemaker, I'm not the biggest fan of. I don't know if it's my least favorite Nightwish song, but it's not one of my favorites, I'll tell you that right now. But that by no means, and I said this during my reaction on the song, it is not a weak song. I believe that Nightwish doesn't really have any weak songs. But on a personal level, it's one of my least favorites. It's one of those songs that just, it's good. It's good. For me personally, it's good filler. It's great filler. It sounded really good. I think I gave it like an 8.2 or an 8.3 or something like that.
It was nice to have after the acoustic version, because the acoustic version was very melodic.
Yeah.
So it
very mellow.
It gave some energy, but not too much energy.
It wasn't a shock. Yeah, that's a good point. I think that's a good way of looking at it, as you had this acoustic rendition of How's the Heart, and then you had Shoemaker, which kind of was a nice bridge to what came next, which was Last Ride of the Day.
Which was very energetic.
Very intense, very energetic. Great performance of that song. Again, one of those songs that I know I've heard. I haven't done a reaction to it. I know I've heard it, though. I think I heard it when I did that live stream with Just Jen. I think I heard that. I think that was the last song of the set at Vakken, if I remember correctly in the comments. So I have heard it. But again, I don't remember it. But when they started playing it, I was like, okay, I'm recognizing things. I'm recognizing certain things, but I don't remember the song as a whole. So, but there were a couple of places where I was like, I remember that. And then like a minute later, I remember that. And it was pretty, basically that was what it was for me. But you had not heard the song before. So what'd you think?
You know, I was like I said, lots of energy. It was kind of like you go from acoustic to then like the bridge, and then this is like, oh my God, like lots of energy. Here we go. And then Floor gets the windmill out with her hair, and it was really, really fun to see like the different changes and all the stuff that happened with like how much energy that they pour onto stage, because you guys are right, production. All they had to work with was their sound and lighting, and their stage presence, which I would give their stage presence a 9.8. Like literally, that's because they didn't have a lot to work with. So when you're just working with lights, and your stage presence has to be everything you give into it, because lighting can only do so much, and sound can only do so much. You literally have to pour your heart out stage presence wise and go poof. And like I said, no dig to the band at all. They have no control over the acoustics inside the Wiltern.
The sound quality.
Yeah, the sound quality isn't the most fantastic. It wasn't clean.
It was very loud, and I'll be honest with you, FOH was doing what they could. I know they were doing what they possibly could, but they were working with what they were working with. And I do feel like at times those speakers were being a little overdriven, and as a result, the wall of sound was there. The energy was there. You could hear the notes and stuff, but it wasn't clear.
And it
wasn't
came off
crystal clear.
Gritty and sometimes tinny.
A little tinny and gritty at times, absolutely.
Yeah. So, I mean, like I said, and this is no dig on Nightwish whatsoever, because they have no control over this.
No, of course not.
So their stage presence, to me, that's the reason why I was so mesmerized. Like, you could have seen me. He has pictures of me, like, leaning where the bar is and just going,
oh. With a mask on.
Yes, with my hanging over, and I'm not used to standing for several hours a day, so I was like, okay, try to keep the energy. They have so much energy. I'm jumping, and my feet are just starting to hurt at the end of this show.
Okay, so they finished up Last Friday of the Day, which honestly they could have ended the show with that, and we would have been fine. That was a great show. That was 15 songs. And they ended. That could have been a great closer. I know they've closed with it before in the past, and that could have worked. The lights went out, and then we heard. And the drums that everybody who is a Nightwish fan recognizes. We're talking about Ghost Love Score.
And that pop in the audience was phenomenal.
Wow.
Oh my God.
When they started that song, the crowd blew the roof off the place. Oh my God.
I was included in that. I was screaming. Oh my God, I ran out of water. My voice was killing me for the last two songs because I was just like, yes, yes, yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Now you got excited. I remember that.
It was the best.
You were one of those individuals that helped blow the roof off, man. Yeah, the crowd went nuts when they started that. da 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 da, and you, along with everybody else, what? And I'm looking around like, wow, this is amazing. So that was fun. They did a great job playing that song.
Floor was heavenly.
For those of you that were wondering about the floorgasm note, did she hit it? She did. She absolutely did. The last note, she nailed it, and I loved it because in the video, during the concert, after she hit it, I don't know if you saw that, Empu walked over to her and did the old fist bump.
Yeah, he did. I saw that. I caught it. Yeah.
Yeah, like good job, you nailed it. Bam. She nailed it. All right, she absolutely nailed it. But the whole song was so well done. Everybody did a great job. And then, the opus, the quote-unquote masterpiece. They did the greatest show on earth in its entirety, all 5 parts. What an experience, what a journey to see them do that live. I mean, I saw them do it live and during my reaction, you saw them do it live during the reaction too, but to actually be there and see it happen right in front of you.
Oh my God. Oh.
Even without the pyro. No fireworks, but they had the sound effects of the fireworks.
But they didn't have like the jumbotrons with like the different scenes. So they for having, like I said, limited production budget, as I call it, they nailed it. Oh my Lord.
No, they absolutely nailed it. All the parts were immaculate. Everything sounded exactly like it did in the other video that we watched. What I was actually kind of impressed by, I don't know if you caught on to this or not. When the breakdown happens, where it's the introduction of man and you hear the animal sounds and stuff, did you notice that they had the animal sounds being piped through the speakers in the ceiling? And it was like, you know, you heard a tiger over here, you heard an elephant over there, you heard, you know, tigers, and you heard lions back there, the birds flying across. And wow, they really immersed the crowd in the sound for that part. That was fun. I was sitting there going, oh my God, they got a hold of the house speakers. Wow. The ceiling speakers, the monitor speakers, that was impressive. They did a fantastic job. They really did of that song, and the crowd responded when they got to the ends with the "We Were Here's." The crowd. Again, blew the roof off every single time. It was impressive. It was moving. It was very, very moving.
Agreed.
There it is.
I don't have much words to say. I was there with the other floorgasms.
And they ended the show, came out, took their bows, which was always good to see. I liked how they did that formation. They like formed a V on the stage with Floor at the point singing. It was like I think she was just sustaining a single note, but she held that note for like 30 seconds or something like that towards the end. And then this is after they had already taken their bows. They're standing in that like V formation, and the lights went out, and that was it. Lights went out, they stayed out, and when the house lights came up, they were gone. Great imagery. What a great way to finish the show. That was unique. That was really cool. But I'm still glad they took the time to take the bows first before they took their grand exit. So that was fun. That was cool. Overall, let's talk about the show as a whole to finish out. So let's talk about the musicians. Let's talk about Kai, the drummer. What'd you think?
He was cool.
Very cool. Solid drummer. I've seen him on videos. I've seen him, in the reactions, but to actually see him live playing, it was different because I think he's loosened up, and you started to see more showmanship. You started to see the stick twirls and the round the heads and the pointing to the crowd and stuff like that in between his playing. He's definitely brought more showmanship to his playing, it's great to see that. Because like I said, when I first saw him, I was like, he looks a little stiff. Maybe it's because he's new to the band and he's still learning the songs, or he maybe doesn't feel comfortable yet doing those things. But I've always been very complimentary of his drumming. Solid, tight drumming. Well, he's just as solid, just as tight, and now he's adding the showmanship. What do you think?
I don't comment on that kind of stuff. Like this is
fine.
This is not like.
But you like what you saw.
I love what.
And you liked what you heard.
I love what I heard.
Okay then. Let's move on to their now the bass player situation. From what I understand, Yuka is not their permanent bass player yet. They have not extended an offer to him to become the new permanent bass player. There's one of three ways this can go. One, my guess is, the most likely guess is, after this tour is done, they're gonna extend that offer to him more than likely. I think he's a good fit. He was moving around quite a bit. He did look a little nervous a little bit. He did look like he wasn't 100% quite sure what he was supposed to do as far as where he was supposed to go. And he would always wait for Empu to come over to replace him, and then he would go over to where Empu was. They would always, it was almost like he was waiting for the cues to be told where to go. But his playing, solid bass player without question. I was watching his picking technique, and man, when he was on those 16th note runs, man, and it was like almost all downstrokes, and I was very impressed by his playing. Great tone, great playing, just overall great performance from him.
I don't pay attention to that stuff.
God. But you liked what you saw and you liked what you heard.
Yeah, I just didn't like what I smelled.
Well, yeah,
Oh my God.
We're not going to talk about that. Moving on, anyway. Troy. Let's talk about Troy. What'd you think of Troy?
You're asking me?
Yes, I'm asking you. What'd you think?
I think everything was pretty solid. Like
his vocals?
Troy was amazing. Like because the reason why I say that is because I really got the sense of Troy because him and Floor during that one song, the acoustic song.
How's the Heart?
Yes, How's the Heart. You got a lot of Troy in that. Because,
you did.
So you got to see exactly how he was. I was so mesmerized by stuff. It was hard to take everything in for me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, Floor.
Floor.
Hyper focused.
We'll get to Floor at the end, I promise. No, Troy was, he's exactly what the band needs. He fills out everything that needs to be added in. He takes it upon himself to do it, whether it be playing, the bouzouki or the mandolin or the acoustic guitar or the electric guitar or the uilleann pipes or the flute or whatever it is he needs to play, he plays it. And he does a fantastic job of adding that sound and that feel and that flavor to every song that he plays.
He did a good job taking over Marco's part.
I will say, yeah, he did a fine job. Now, was it Marco? No, it wasn't Marco. Okay, let's be honest here.
There's only one Marco.
All right, let's be honest here, okay? But he hit the parts he needed to hit. He did his best to, get. He doesn't have the range that Marco quite has. But the funny thing is, the notes were being hit by Floor. When Troy couldn't get the notes that high, Floor took over and did his parts, and then it sounded like Troy was doing her parts. So that was cool.
Teamwork.
It's great teamwork, and that's what a band is. It's teamwork. And when one person just can't get that one part, that's when someone else who can steps in and gets it. And it is absolutely all about teamwork when it comes to being in a band. No, he did a fantastic job. Really nice job on his part. Tomas, keyboards.
Always amazing.
Fun to watch.
Always
Fun to watch
amazing.
live. A lot of fun to watch. You're not going to look at Tomas and get a ton of crowd interaction, but what you are going to get is a lot of stage presence and a lot of stage energy. That was fun to see.
You know what I noticed about him? That man, his essence is music. You can see when he's on stage performing, he is all about the essence of the music. Like, it literally embodies him when he's playing.
He's 100% dedicated and focused on the music.
He's engrossed.
He is. But at the same time, not so much that it stops him from having stage energy. He doesn't stand there in, like a statue and just play the part. So he's rocking out. He absolutely rocks out. He gets into it, which is always good to see, especially from keyboard players, because you hardly ever see that from keyboard players. Now, he did an outstanding job. Empu! Little Empu!
Hey, don't... He's
fun, man.
He's maybe like 5'3", 5'4", but that man plays like he's 6'5", okay?
Yeah, he does.
You can't say it. If you say anything bad about him,
no.
Like, you can't.
You can't.
He literally, for somebody who's like, I call it fun-sized, okay? For somebody who's fun-sized, he has the presence of a giant.
He does.
He really is amazing, and he has a smile that can launch 1,000 ships. He really does. When you see him smile on stage when he's playing,
which is almost all the time,
you know that he's in his element.
And he's having fun.
And he's in his element 100%, and he's enjoying it, and this is his life. Like, I don't think you could see him doing anything else.
Yep. I think what I was most impressed by him, there was a guitar solo he did, if I can remember what song. It was one of the songs that we know. What was it? I think it was Last Ride of the Day. I think that was the song. He had a guitar solo, and you could tell he did. He flubbed one note. It was a little flub, and we all heard it, and we were like, okay. And the funny thing is, and this is how you know he's having fun, you also know he's a consummate professional. After he was done playing the solo, he walks around behind Floor, and you can see him just going, oh man. He looked up, he's like, I can't believe I did that. But he's smiling about it. He's not sitting there kicking the stage or kicking himself. God, I can't believe I did that. He wasn't doing that. He just looked up at the sky and went, man, I can't believe I did that.
He's like, I'm
and
human.
Then went right back into the song. It was no big deal, and he didn't make it a big deal. It was, again, but I've said this. I'm not saying this to be critical of the man. I'm saying this because one of the main reasons I go to live shows is to see stuff like that. I like seeing the mistakes because I want to see that they're human. It makes them more relatable, and it makes it, there's that little bit of a connection, especially being a musician myself. I've been there. God, I have never played a perfect show, ever. I've always made at least one or two mistakes in every show I've ever played. So it's relatable. I can absolutely relate to how he's feeling, because I'm the same way, man. I'll hit that note and I'll be like, oh man, I just did that, didn't I? And I'll come back in, and I'm fine. But it's just fun to see that happen. It's one of the main reasons I go to live shows. Okay. Brace yourself, everyone. You might want to hold on to something here. Floor. Oh, God. Oh, man. Oh, don't ever do that again. Oh, boy.
Can't carry a note.
No, you can't.
Oh, cannot. But oh my God. Mesmerized. That's it. I'm mesmerized. Ah!
What was she doing that was so mesmerizing? Everything.
That woman, I don't know. I don't know how that corset holds all that in. Oh my God.
This is a family show.
Movies!
Because she moves. She moves and moves and moves and doesn't stop. And she is way better endowed than I am. And that corset's still holding up straight.
NANI?
And on top of that, she's like, my poor husband, you know?
How do you spell demonetized? Mrs. Heretic. That's how you spell it. Wow.
My wife!
You know, and she's flawless. Like, I did hear her make one boo-boo. She hit one wrong note.
You heard it?
I heard it.
Which one?
Oh, God, I don't remember the song.
It was Ghost Love Score.
Oh, yeah.
I heard it, too.
I was like, one.
It was a little bit of a sour note in there. It was on the first, was it the chorus or pre-chorus? On the da, 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 da,
She went a little flat.
She went a little flat on that when she did da, 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 da. On the coming up, it was a little flat. It was, and I know I wasn't the only one because I looked around at everyone that was around us and they were like, huh?
But it was amazing. Like,
It was amazing.
I can't say anything bad about her. I just can't.
No. Again, it just, and you know, like I said, she's human. She's gonna make mistakes. It's gonna happen. And it's one of the things that make people endearing is when they do.
But she was a consummate professional.
She went
right
like
back,
nothing happened. It's you know, she didn't sit there all flustered and I can't believe I did that and blah blah blah. No, she just boom went right on, got right back on the horse and kept on riding. And as a professional musician, that's what you need to be able to do. If you sit there and you're kicking the ground and you're looking down, you're like, oh, I can't believe I did that, blah, blah. You know what you're doing? You're doing two things. Well, you're doing three things. One, you're giving yourself away. You just let the entire crowd know that you made a mistake. And that's number one. Number two, whoever's in charge of hiring you or your band or whoever, they're going to see you doing that and they're going to go, oh, well, he made a mistake, you know, blah, blah, blah. And then following suit. And the third thing, and probably the most important thing, is you're showing that you are allowing those mistakes to get to you. And as a professional, you should never be doing that, ever, because what you'll do is you'll sit there and you'll dwell on it. And there's a term that we use in the music industry called quicksand. So you'll make a mistake, right? Well, now you're gonna sit there and dwell on it, and that takes your focus away from playing. Guess what you're gonna do? You're gonna make another mistake. And then now you're dwelling on two mistakes. Now guess what happens? You make another, and another, and another. And the next thing you know, you are literally drowning in mistakes. So the fact that professional musicians like Floor, like Empu, are able to make those little itty bitty tiny flubs and just move right on like nothing happened, it's the best thing you can do.
Frozen had it right. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go.
I've never seen that movie. I don't ever plan on watching it, honestly. Okay, so let's wrap this up. The overall show. The whole show. After seeing it, leaving, sitting in the cars, we're driving home. Final thoughts.
Super impressed.
Super impressed.
Super impressed with not only Beast in Black, which like I said, I walked in with no expectation. No.
I didn't know they were opening. I didn't know there was an opening act.
I walked in with no expectations
That was
of
a
anything.
shock.
Of anything. I was not walking in with any expectations for anything. I came there to be entertained. And guess what? I was. And that is the only expectation that you might say I had was I went in to be entertained. Okay, if you want to see, they say, well, you can't have no expectations. I walked in wanting to be entertained. Was I entertained? Yes. Yes, I was entertained. Entertained beyond measure. And I want to do it again soon.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, the next time Nightwish comes back out to the US, we're definitely have to go watch them again. Definitely. We may have to do a little driving. They may not, I mean, LA is a major market, yes, but that doesn't always guarantee that they're going to come out this way. I mean, we may have to drive down to San Diego or drive up to San Francisco to see them, or go see them in Arizona or Nevada or somewhere like that. We may have to do a little traveling.
Oh, darn. Oh.
What a shame, right?
Yeah, long road trips with him. Oh.
And it's tragic. It's,
Oh my
it's
God.
a nightmare.
Oh, it's
I'm
the
horrible
worst.
to drive with. I absolutely freeze her out of the car. I hate being hot. I run hot, so I always run the AC. Doesn't matter how cold it is outside, I will run the AC. And there have been times where I've been in the car, I'm wearing shorts and a short sleeve shirt, and she's bundled up in a jacket and a hoodie, and she's got a scarf on, and she's got a blanket. Because I absolutely freeze her out of the car.
I don't mind, though. I'm used to it.
I'm terrible like that.
Been with you a long time. I should know what I had myself into when we decided to take a car trip.
Yep. Okay, so final thing. How would you give this a rating? How many thumbs would you give this? The whole experience.
I'll give it a score.
You're gonna do a score. Wow. Okay.
I'm gonna do a score.
Okay. Go ahead. Do a score.
9.3.
9.3.
9.3.
Okay. This I gotta hear. 9.3.
Okay.
All right. Let's hear this. So why the 9.3?
So I have to give the entire show, entirety.
Mm-hmm.
Showmanship, both bands, phenomenal, off the chain.
Okay.
Okay? Production for what they had to work with, amazing.
Yeah.
Okay? Lighting, on point, on cue. Everything was phenomenal. The only thing I have to criticize, and it has nothing to do with the band at all,
No.
it was the sound quality at the Wiltern directly. I could not understand the lyrics very well. So, and there was like we said earlier, it was a bit gritty, a bit tinny. That is the only reason they're not getting a near perfect score.
Yeah, the sound, I agree with you. The sound quality overall was a little dirty. I don't think it was due to the electricity. A lot of people will say, well, they didn't have a clean current. No, they all use power conditioners. That's not the issue. I think maybe there might have been some damage possibly done to speakers, like from a few shows ago or whatever. They may want to look over their equipment and test all their speakers and make sure everything is 100% working. But yeah, I did notice that too. It did sound a little overdriven. Everything sounded a little overdriven, honestly. But I did like the energy that came with that. So a little bit of a trade-off. Anyway, but I guess I'll give my score then. You gave it a 9.3 overall experience. I'm going to be very similarly inclined. I'm going to give the entire experience about a 9.5.
Okay.
Yes, 9.5. I feel good with that score.
You've spoken?
Well, I have to give my reasons why now. Let me tell you why.
Why?
Okay. Overall, let me start with Beast in Black. I can't say enough about them, how impressed I was, and what a turnaround they had on me between hearing their studio stuff and their live stuff. And I'm telling you, if they can figure out how to capture that energy and intensity that they have live into the studio albums, nothing is going to stop them. They are going to go places big time. As far as Nightwish goes, I'm not going to lie. I had a certain level of expectation going into the show. I had a certain level of, okay, I expect to see this, I expect to hear this, and all of my expectations were either met or exceeded. They never fell short on anything as far as they go. Their stage presence, stage energy, the production for what they had, really well done. Crowd interaction was off the hook. Again, Floor being that stage general that she is, she had complete control of that crowd at all times, and she knew how to get them involved, when to get them involved, and how often to get them involved. She didn't pull a Bruce Dickinson where she was getting the crowd involved every single song 5 or 6 times during the course of each and every song, to the point where it's overkill. Now, she knew exactly how much to do, and it was well spaced out, well timed, and well executed. The band as a whole, fantastic job from everybody. Like Mrs. Heretic said, I absolutely agree with her on the sound quality. I do feel like the sound was a little overdriven. You could not hear what was being said. You couldn't understand the lyrics. You could hear the notes that were being sung. And that to me is more important than anything else. I honestly don't, even if they were crystal clear, lyrics would still go over my head. But she is absolutely right. You couldn't understand really what was being said. Of course, at a live venue like that and a live show like this, it's the expectation is people go to these shows, they already know the words. They already know the songs. So they don't need to hear the words necessarily. That's the expectation. Of course, you do have new people like Mrs. Heretic who have never really heard, and some of the songs she's never even heard before. So lyrics are important to her, and maybe this is something that bands should look into doing, where maybe they pull back on the volume just a touch so they can get those lyrics to come through a little more clearly. But in any case, I was still thoroughly entertained. I would give that a 9.5, absolutely. So overall experience, you're getting a 9.3 from Mrs. Heretic, a 9.5 from myself. We have spoken. Well, that's it, folks. That was our concert review of Nightwish with also Beast in Black. We can't forget to mention them. They did a fantastic job. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully we were able to entertain you. If we were able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, then we did our job, and we're so glad we could do it. Before we wrap it up, there is one thing I would like to mention. All of you that came up to us at the show or came up to me on Saturday and introduced yourselves and you took pictures with me, thank you. Thank you so much. You guys don't know how much you made my night. You really did. I know, listen, I had a great time with the concert, don't get me wrong, but I think I'm not saying this to be a suck up. I'm not saying this to, be fake. This is the honest to God truth. As much fun as I had at the concert, I can honestly say I had more fun interacting with you guys, talking to you guys, taking pictures with you guys. I had more fun doing that, believe it or not, than I did the actual show. The show was great, don't get me wrong. I loved the show, but interacting with you guys really made my night special. And to all of you out there who in the comments said, well, we saw you, but we didn't want to be a bother, and we didn't want to interrupt you, and I'm
interrupting you.
Yes.
It's not a bother. I was kind of sad. Because a lot of you guys had mentioned in the comments since we were going, hey, we want to see you. So we were looking out for you guys, and we only had a Friday especially. Saturday was better for him, but Friday...
I ran into quite a few people on Saturday.
But Friday we only hit a few, and I was kind of like, aw.
I know. I was kind of bummed. I'm seeing in the comments other people are saying, well, we saw you at the show, but we didn't bother you. Guys, you are not a bother. Seriously. If you see us at a show, you see us at a concert,
grocery store,
you see us at a grocery store or at the mall, or we're out shopping around, hell, you see us at Disneyland. Seriously, come up and say hi. We would love to meet you.
We'll take photos.
We'll take photos. You want us to sign autographs, we'll do it. You name it, we'll do it for you guys. Anything we could do to show our appreciation of you and your supporting of us, we would gladly take a few minutes to talk to you guys and post for pictures and do whatever we can within limits, of course. Legality is still a thing. But in all seriousness though, if you guys do see us, do not hesitate, and for God's sakes, guys, don't think for 1 second that you're gonna be bothering us. You're not. I promise you, you're not. So yeah, in the future, you see us, come up and say hi. We'd love to meet you. Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for tonight, folks. Until then, until next time, this is David Heretic and Mrs. Heretic.
My wife!
Signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous.
And support each other.
Later. Peace.